What's up guys, my name is Mike. Welcome back to another episode of In the Shop TV. In the last episode, we were working on our LS engine. This is at 6.0. I believe it's out of a 2007 Silverado 2500 HD. This engine was getting cleaned up and painted, and it's going to be our power plant for our 55 Chevy pickup truck. So I came out here early this morning and I spent some time cleaning up the valve cover mounting surfaces. I took the old cruddy old valve covers off and discarded them, and we got ourselves a set of two-piece valve covers from Holley. They're licensed by Holley Performance, so they have the old school Chevy script logo on them, which I thought would look really cool in our 55 Chevy truck build. It just kind of got the right overall vibe for what we're going for. When they get the bag off, I got the engine bagged up to keep dust and dirt out of it since I have the valve covers off. And I'll take you over and I'll show you the valve covers that we got. So these are our two-piece valve covers. I really like these because, as you guys know, if you're watching this channel, because of the title, LS engines have the coil packs on top of the valve covers. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you're going for a build that's got, that's kind of cosmetic, or you're going for aesthetics, it's really kind of unsightly and ugly in my opinion. It can look kind of cool and racy, I guess, but we're going to try to keep this build real clean looking. So this is just, I think there's like super cool, the idea of it. The valve cover itself is actually this bottom piece. It's a two-piece design, and the top piece just kind of covers the coils that attach to it. So it looks kind of like an old school valve cover. You can see the plugs coming out the side, the plug wire, coming out the side, which is fine. But it's just a nice, really clean design that I like. So let's get these opened up and check them out. Give you bolts to hold these down. Look, they're 12 point, which I'm not sure if I have a 12 point set in here. I don't think so. No, I have them in standard. Let's see if I got some floating around somewhere. So here's the bottom piece. That's the actual valve cover. They give us two oil fill covers and some spacers is what it looks like here. So that is one negative, I guess. You could call it a negative for these, is that when you want to add oil, the fill is on this side. You have to actually remove the 4 screws from the valve, the decorative part of the valve cover, to get to the actual valve cover to access your fill port. Not the end of the world for me, but some people might find that annoying. So flipping these around, they are baffled, which is kind of neat. They do not come with gaskets, which, for the money I paid for them, they are not cheap. You would think that they would, but that's all right. At least you get to choose whatever kind of gaskets you like best. I did know that ahead of time, so I went and picked up a set of these Felpro blue silicone rubber gaskets, and it does come with the gaskets for the hold down bolts. Alright guys, so a little trick I want to show you. The grommets that go on the valve cover bolts for LS style engines, people seem to have a little bit of a hard time installing them on here. I've seen some videos on the internet where people will cut them with a box cutter or a knife and slip them on over, which I'm not saying you're wrong, but that kind of doesn't make much sense to me. It kind of defeats the point of the grommet. And then another thing that I've seen people do, which I think is a very good idea, is they heat them in an oven. Kind of get them soft and pliable. I do something similar, but I don't use an oven. Let me show you what I do. So I take a heat gun, put it on the low setting, and I just kind of swirl it around for a minute or two. You don't want to stay on it like that or get too close. We're not trying to melt this thing, and it will melt. You just want to kind of just warm it up so it becomes a little bit more pliable and flexible. That's all there is to it. Easy as that. All right, so we set our first one down, and we'll just put one bolt in to hold it in place. We'll kind of look through here and make sure that we're lined up with the bolt holes, which we are. There we go. All right, so our first one is on. I snug these down a little bit I go until I just start to see the grommet just start to balloon a little bit, and I back off. I don't go any further. It's supposed to be 106 inch-pounds of torque on each one of these, which is roughly 8 or 9 foot-pounds of torque. My torque wrench is a digital one, and the batteries are shot, of course, on it. So I'm going to leave these as it is until I get some batteries, and I'll come back and retorque them this back. I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but I take my finger and just have a tiny bit of silicone spray on it and just very, very lightly moisten these grommets, just so that it keeps them fresh longer, because they'll dry out and not last as long. At least that's my belief anyway. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's what I do. We're not going to put our coils on yet because I'm probably going to replace the coils that were on here. And as you guys, if you've been watching along, this motor's not going to run for a little while. We're just kind of refreshing it in that stage right now, so no sense in putting coils on it yet. Just want to get these covers on and buttoned up, and then we'll deal with new coils later. So I'm going to go ahead and get these started by hand, and then we'll come back and snug them up with the ratchet. So can you guys see my vision yet? We're thinking, we have a new Valley pan that just came in. It's sitting right over there. It's an ICT billet. You guys have probably seen them before. Super nice polished aluminum custom Valley cover. We're gonna get that on. We're gonna have a black fabricated metal, sheet metal intake, which I think is gonna look super slick on top of this with that Valley cover below it. We're gonna do a black water pump. We have a new timing cover on order. It should be here any day now. Actually, I think tomorrow. I'm actually gonna pull this off. What else? Black accessories, alternator, maybe a compressor. I don't know. You guys kind of get the vibe of what I'm going for here, but I think it's gonna look super slick. I like it, guys. I like it a lot. In summary, I'm really happy with them. They don't come with the actual bolts that hold the bottom piece, the actual valve cover to the heads, those special LS bolts. Fortunately, mine were in really good shape. I just cleaned them up and reused them, but that would have been nice. Although I guess since they're such specialized bolts, I can't really expect them to. They do come with the bolts for the valve covers, the decorative cover, obviously, and it does come with, I did not show you because I didn't put them on yet, but the bolts to hold the coils down. It comes with all new bolts for that as well, and it comes with different size spacers depending upon which coils, whether you have a Gen 1 or Gen 5 coil for your LS. I'm not entirely sure which generation coils I have for this Gen 4 engine or what I should use. I know they're all interchangeable across the LS platform, so I don't know if I want to use the Gen 1 or the Gen 5 coils. I'm kind of thinking Gen 5 because they will angle out. The way they mount on an angle, and it just kind of makes sense because your exhaust ports are here, and then you have the wire coming out this way, right in line with the plug. You know, it's just kind of got that nice angle to it where you won't be, you know, hitting the pipes and melting wires and whatnot. So I think I might go with Gen 5 coils. Preemptively, that's what I'm thinking for right now, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I did go ahead and pull that crank off real quick. It wasn't worth filming, just need both hands, and it's like a 3-finger puller, and you got to kind of hold the pulley with one hand and crank down real hard with a socket on the other hand. You can use the impact. Some people say you shouldn't do that. I didn't see a need to. I just used a 1/2-inch ratchet and it came off. So I think that's going to wrap up this Holley two-piece valve cover video. I'm really happy with them, guys. I'm totally digging them. I think they're gonna look really nice in this build, especially with the 55 Chevy truck. So let me know what you guys think. You like them? You hate them? Don't care? Totally indifferent? Love to hear your thoughts and comments.